is becoming quite common, and I'm wondering who could be behind these things and to do exactly what. We've had Jonathan's posters now surfacing here and there. I really don't think that President Jonathan, former President Jonathan, is behind this. But I'm wondering, for those who are behind this, are they trying to embarrass the man, or are they trying to coax him into running for the presidency? Well, all said and done, my very, very strong view is that President Jonathan should stay where history has placed him.
Right.
Excuse me, his second time running could turn out to be like a caller said to your program this morning. There's been so much of a mess created that it will make a mess. It will make a mess of what Jonathan, where history has placed Jonathan. Remember that it wasn't as if Jonathan too had what you would call a sterling performance. It's just that against what we have now,
Right.
it makes him look like a superstar. What I respect Jonathan for the most of all things is the way he conducted the elections and gave up like a gentleman when the results, even before the results were announced, he had caved in. And that has put him in a place in history. He should stay there and not bother to listen to. Why do we keep wanting, like another caller said this morning, why do we want to keep recycling people? If care is not taken, someone would say we should go bring Obasanjo again, and stuff like that. So if there's anybody out there who is close to, how does it say, Professor Jonathan, to President Jonathan, I think it's better he's staying, and he should listen to his wife, because his wife said nothing of the sort is likely to happen.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to our next story this morning. The Vanguard newspaper, page 10. Farotimi activists group plan nationwide protest December 10.
As an activist, Farotimi is having his day. His day has been given him on a platter of gold by Chief Afe Babalola. And I said, like I advised the chief yesterday, that by the time all this is gone, people would even lose sight of what the whole thing is at the beginning. And I hope that the reputation that he says he's trying to fix, by getting maybe him to retract some pages of the book and so on and so forth, I hope that reputation itself will remain intact, not because there's anything wrong, but because we're going to be losing sight of the main issue. He will become a symbol. Because as it is now becoming, in the perception of a lot of people, the oppressors versus the oppressed. So it says here now, already there's some seat or so in King's College in the UK that Mr. Babalola, Chief Babalola had endowed, and there's pressure on him, on the college now to withdraw. This thing is going worldwide. Okay? So on December 10, there's going to be nationwide protest. I mean, you get, there's going to be nationwide protest.
And they even put the places that they will converge.
Yes. Yeah. Now, let's be adults in the room. Okay? Let's take away all the sentiments. History has shown that the conflagrations that have taken place in various countries have happened from something that is completely insignificant and unrelated. The Arab Spring, a policeman wanted to collect bribe from, was it a truck pusher, whatever, he set himself on fire. The French Revolution started by increasing the price of bread. That was a major factor that sparked it. So I'm going to be saying, if I was the president, I quickly settle this matter out of court between these two gentlemen, gather one or two elders and find a way to resolve this issue before it gets completely out of hand. The country is extremely tense now. And if care is not taken, it's going to blow. But Farotimi is having his day. He'll be so happy about these developments, because you cannot be a proven activist if you haven't gone through trials like this. It's going to come out a big hero. So we're also going to now keep our eyes on Farotimi. Farotimi is going to be a leader, and he will give Omoyele Showore. He's going to give him a run for his own. I'm a fan of Farotimi. Let me declare that clearly. I'm a Shangri person. So And in any case, an association that I'm involved in on the side, the NAS, National Association of Sea Dogs, popularly known as the Pirates Confraternity, yesterday also condemned the alleged unjust and subsequent detention in prison of Farotimi. He described the police and judiciary action as an abuse of the rule of law, saying such a posture is an aberration and brings to the fore the dark era of the military. So it's no longer an Afebabalola Farotimi issue, to be honest with you. It has become a metaphor for what the kind of anger that is going on in the country. And God bless Nigeria. Let's see where all this is going.
Let's go and pick up the story on page 2 of the Punch. 29 states spent 2 trillion naira on travels. Others, it's going to report.
These are the things that are going to start adding up now. When you see a story like this, 2 trillion or more, a total of 29 state governors spent 1.9 trillion on recurrent expenditure, including refreshments, waiting them chop self, a past spring roll, sitting allowances, traveling and utilities in the first 9 months of 2024. This is 1.9 trillion that could have been put to good use for the people. Let me use the words of Uche in the UK. It is a shame. And the kind of insensitivity that you have on the part of the leadership of this country is mind-boggling. All the way up to the top. It's like it doesn't matter what you think. Yes, we will tell you to tighten your belt, but we will loosen ours. And it's business as usual. You all know I don't need to spend so much time on what all this indicates. Let me just say, in the words of Uche, let me pay the copyrights to him. It is a shame. 1.9 trillion on recurrent expenditure, including allowances, which the governors and so on really don't need. Traveling, and of course, puff and refreshment, puff and puff. How many puff? How many puffs will make 1 trillion?
Who are the puff sellers?
How many puff bonds? The story is on. It's quite detailed. The story is on page 2 of the Punch, so you might want to look out for it. 29 states spent 2 trillion on travels, others. Check out if your state is there so you know what to ask your governor for Christmas. You too, you want turkey? Okay. Yeah.
You know...
Well, I knew... What were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Are people holding their governor responsible enough? Or
they are not.
We are too concentrated on
the center? They are not. No, we are not concentrated on the center. The truth is that the average Nigerian wishes he could be part of what's going on.
Oh.
When you hear pastors, for example, telling you in church, let God pray for God to bring you your helper. What is a helper? What is a helper? Who is a helper? A helper is somebody who has access to the cookie jar, meaning you want somebody to be... Why do you think people do Thanksgiving when a member of their family gets appointment in government? That one that said that Jesus takes care of him and so on and so forth, he doesn't need a job. What do you think that was all about? You think he really doesn't need a job? So everybody wants to be part of what's going on. Everybody's aspiration is to move. All the young people that are busy abusing people who want Nigeria to get better for their own sake, what do you think it's all about? Everybody wants to be a part of what's going on.
So look, so we don't have people with genuine intention.
Very few.
Genuine love for this country.
The ones who have genuine love for this country are, you see, if you put a normal man in an asylum, he becomes a mad one.
Oh.
Yes, now. If you put a normal man in an asylum, he's the one whose behavior is not in sync with his community. So that is where the problem lies. You had 3 or 4 Labour members of the House of Reps, they decamped to the APC. If they didn't like Labour, why didn't they decamp to PDP that is not in government? So everybody wants, most people want to be part of the chop chorus that is going on. They have that aspiration. Your pastors even tell you, okay, open up your mouth and ask God. Who is a helper? A man on the salary cannot be your helper. Yes, now, how can I help anybody when I can't help myself? But if I was a commissioner, so that's it. That is the crux of the matter. All of us, most of us are complicit in what's going on because either we are directly involved or the little crumbs that come off the table, we want to put our tray nearby so that it can fall into it. And what you call a little from that table is a lot of money. I want you to close your eyes and think of the number of people who don't have a visible means of income but live big. Including your elite.
Of course.
Your elite, they drive the jeeps, they have police escorts, they have everything. Show me, they might even have fancy offices. Bring out the file and show us what work you do. You can't find it. And then they too now have other people running after them. So it's a chain.
And we now have traditional rulers who now give them
that one is even
chieftaincy titles.
Because the traditional ruler is put there in the first place to do just that. How many traditional rulers can beat their chest and say, like in Yoruba land, and say it was Ifa or whatever that asked that they should be traditional? Ifa got in, sorry to use this word, Ifa got in Bankon. Yes. Some of the traditional rulers that you see, ask yourself deeply, do you think, when you talk about the process that brings about Obas, for example, in Yoruba land, you listen to the story of the Awujale, with due respect, who at 27 didn't even want it. He was in the UK and he suddenly found himself
home.
And he has been a blessing to that community. How many of our traditional rulers now are a blessing to their community?
Good question.
Yes. Well, a top politician told me that in Lagos, for example, there are even non-indigenous who are Obas with this new dispensation that we have. And they wear the longest chains. They want to oppress their people. They drive Rolls-Royce cars. So everybody wants to be a part of that. And that is why Nigeria will continue to be a failed state. Because those who have a genuine aspiration to have, there's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to get support. You can't run to even before, back in the days of Ghani, you say some lawyers are kabashon. You can't run to the bar, you can't run to the bench. These things have been compromised. You can't even run to your religious leader anymore. You can't. You can't run to your traditional. It's a big mess. Why did you wake me up this morning? I wanted to have a quiet day.
Apologies. Let's go to the
I will find you. Let's go to Metro. A digger dies in Ogunwell accident. Will somebody tell us, somebody should take up the commissioner of police to give us a detailed report as to what exactly is going on with the so-called 6 missing girls. I don't think it's enough for the police to say nobody has reported. That's not probably the approach. Of course, we do have CID. Was there any party at all? Are there any 6 girls that are missing? The story is here. It says, the police said no report of Lagos missing girls. Don't wait for a report, police. You might need to go out and investigate properly. Okay? But I also ask our ladies out there. I know that times are hard. You have to do runs here and there. But the times that we are in now, there was a story of 3 guys. One of them was approached, okay, in his own capacity was approached to bring some human parts. And then he casually mentioned it to his brother, Sheriff, law, so who can we use? They use the 3rd guy. Amongst friends. Yes, it's a real true story. So the times we are in is like being in a theater of war. We need to be very, very careful how we move. Because they said there was a 7th lady who forgot her wig at home. And by the time she came, they had gone. Who is this 7th lady? Somebody needs to let us know. Police alerted to fire that killed couple and kids in Lagos. Edo school proprietor jailed 6 months for insulting parents. Really? Okay, and police neutralized cultists who killed Rivers couple. 4 cops. We need to be careful. Lagos State News. Lagos gets biogas plant to power markets. Council plans bylaws to enforce sanitation and so on and so forth. But I would like again to plead with the Lagos State government to please light up our streets. Light up our streets. It's so dark in the morning with the smoky cars. It's a miracle we don't record accidents every day. If I'd advise them, go and look for the file that Ambode used to light up Lagos. That's one of the achievements of Governor Ambode that I do recognize. He lit up everywhere. In fact, at some point, he even had to put generators in some place to light up that. And we should have that. We should have that attitude. Our streets are too dark, and people need to go to work very early in the morning. Okay.
Let's go to.
By the way, Ambode is going to run.
Where? What? Where?
I heard he's going to run for Lagos State governor.
Ah. Okay. What party? We don't know yet.
He can't go outside the APCO. No, I don't think he will do that.
Does he have any chance in APC?
What I think is that, and I hope he's hearing this, one mark of the politicians is once they perceive that you have a lot of money, start somewhere, they will go after you. They will push you. But then at the last minute, you'll be left on your own. If I were him, I'd cut my losses. You've done your part as 4 years. Not everybody got that opportunity. Go find something to do with whatever money you have and be at peace with yourself. You've made peace with the members of the party. You've made peace with everybody. We know what we know and so on and so forth. Go your way. Do not let them set you up. That's my advice to him. Do not, and he knows me personally for always saying things because I know what I told him in his first time when he came out. So if I were him, cut your losses and just leave. It's not, you don't have anything to prove again. You've had 4 years as a governor. You've done the bit that you can. Okay, I don't think there's any new magic that you're going to be bringing to the table. And so don't let them mess you up.
So what if the
that was a personal advice to him.
What if the permission is from Babasokwe? Like let's
do you know how many? Do you know how many people Babasokwe gave permission in the last 4 years that I interacted with? Who called me to say that I want to run. Baba has told me to go ahead. Politics is about deceit. Ask Ikpanu Sagabi, what's the name of that man? What's his name now?
I always, the moment you go
ask somebody like him. Baba can say it to so many people. But my advice to Akinwumi Ambode is cut your losses, live your private life. Don't let anybody come and mess you up. For as long as he doesn't show any aspiration to want to become governor again, he will live a very happy and nice life. I heard one time he wanted to be this CBN, he wanted to be this. If I were him, God is, see, if you look at numbers, God has smiled on just you. I know he was picked from nowhere, really. Not that he was a politician, per se. And you had that opportunity. It doesn't come twice, so come on, Joe. That's my advice to him.
Okay, all right. Let's, what's the time? Okay, this is good. This is really good.
What is good?
The time. Time has been fair, very fair.
Very fair.
Yeah. To the editorial of the Punch newspaper, sell all the public refineries now.
I think even we have said that here.
Yes, we have.
Yes, and the Punch now has an editorial that says that Tinubu should privatize the refineries. The benefits are many, all of you know that, including providing jobs, freeing, and so on and so forth. Another option is to do targeted But you see, there is a motive amongst the leadership of the country that you and I don't know about. I don't think anybody needs to advise President Tinubu that the best thing to do is to sell. But I think him, being a politician, of course, and a very astute and very, what is the word now? Very don't let me use cunning, but just he's very sharp. He's very sharp on the whatever. He probably, his friends and whatever, probably would have another design for these refineries that you and I don't know about. But please, 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 I don't think anybody needs to tell any leadership that government cannot run these refineries. The level of corruption there is horrible. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. You know, what is going on in NNPC general. That's why I find it a big pity that the president made himself the minister for petroleum. History might not be kind to him. Because even a lot of things will be going behind his back, as smart as the president is. Translate that one.
Behind his back.
No, that's to do a direct translation. Because they will carry something behind his back. Anyway, let's all said and done. It's just a common sense thing to do. I don't think there's any need for any advice on that.
Okay, so we're going to quickly go to the Vanguard newspaper. Tax reform bills, Akpabio overrules Barrow.
Well, that's just to let you know the new development in what's going on. The story says that Barrow, who presided over the plenary on Wednesday, he presided as the acting president, had said that the lawmakers suspended public hearing and legislative work on the bills to allow for wider consultations. And that's why you find that leaders don't go on leave.
They never.
Yes, I probably will be wondering, where was I that this Barrow man is not doing this? So he overruled him.
Yeah.
That is the way things work in Nigeria.
The funny thing is, that's his deputy. That's his deputy.
He's the deputy now. And he shouldn't have overruled him in such a crude manner. But that's Nigeria for you. It must be my bidding. I'm the president. In that session, Barrow was the president. And it should be binding. But like I said, that's why you find governors. How many of your governors have actually ever gone on leave and handed over to the deputy?
Good question.
Mr. Sanwo-Olu, you've been there for about 7 years. Don't you think it's time for you to take a leave? Take one. I don't know why we don't do these things. We'll continue at 9 because my guests are not coming again.
Okay.
So we'll continue the newspaper review at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't have time. We'll start all over again. We'll continue this review at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so here we go with this. I saw this story yesterday, and I mean, different kinds of thoughts just ran through my affair. UK varsity VC suspended after Nigerian wife blew whistle.
It was the wife that went to that put aside in his garage. And we will open this to the public at 9 o'clock also. Whether you thought what the wife did was right or wrong. So the VC was having an affair with an Indian woman. And when the wife got to hear of it, she went to report him. And of course now the man has been suspended. You will need to send in a translation of Kakakekuma Jesus. What you do need to send in the translation for us. Let us see who is going to win. Whoever wins that, I'll probably give him about.
Oh yeah.
Because
you have 3 minutes.
And we'll be asking you at 9 o'clock. Do you think what this woman did is right? Hell has no fury than the woman's scorn. You must learn how to treat women. It's not about money. It's not about power. It's not about anything. If you see a lieutenant general of the Nigerian army, if he falls in love with an 80-year-old, she will handle him like potty. Even those who are your daughters will tell you, Daddy, we know where your mumu button is now. So you need to be careful about how you handle women, whether they're your mothers, they're your daughters, they're your wives. I will give you some advice at 9 o'clock. But so the woman too, do you think she has also lost something here? I think she will be so enraged she wouldn't care anymore.
I probably there was no love there in the first place.
No, if there was no love, maybe she wouldn't have done that. It's because there was when you offend a woman who is in love with you, Omo.
I think that love, no, I don't think that she loved him.
It's because she loved him.
I don't
This
think
guy
so.
was sponsoring this Indian woman. Maybe the Indian woman herself, he said past the one way he get for house.
Well, so I think that if she ever loved the guy, she would probably.
If she loved the guy, she would help him keep his job. She would stand by him. Yes.
Well, she's about to let him lose his job.
That's so she doesn't love him. So two of them. That is why I said for. Sorry, if that's the only language I speak. But before I come at 9, I will get the Igbo version and the Hausa version. But if that's why we say you should translate that kakakekuma, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, okay, the import of the proverb is, if I can't have it, nobody will. Maybe he's even neglected the woman. I know so Igbo man, when they love like this, it's not like our own. You know that guys are experts. Okay, so we'll see you at 9, Abby.
Yes, please.
I can go. I want to go and get some coffee.
We'll see you at 9.
We'll continue at 9 o'clock.
That's right.
But in the meantime,
yes.
If it were you, what would you do?
In what instance now? The man or the woman?
If you were the man, how can you be the woman? We are not talking about risky matters.
Hypothetical here. So,
if you were the man,
there's nothing I can do. What would you do?
I will tell you at 9 o'clock.
Oh, no. Want to know now.
We have to go at 9 o'clock.
You asked me and I answered. You asked me and I answered.
Let me go into the bunker and come out first. Thank you for our bunker.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Sefako.
God bless you.
Lagos, let's go back to the Open Mic Friday, right? And hear your thoughts. Perhaps you can even share your thoughts on these stories. Let's start from before JD comes back at night. Stay here, please.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.